Good morning, everybody, and thank you all so much for joining us. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Roberta Cook, the President and CEO of BHcare. I hope you all received your BHcare Strength in Numbers decal and added it to your mug this morning. It's just a little reminder that together we can do anything. And thanks to your support and commitment to our mission and the people and communities we serve, thousands of children, adults, and families are taking steps toward hope, health, and recovery every day. While I'm disappointed that we're meeting virtually again, I'm happy for the opportunity to share some of what you've helped us accomplish over the last year and let you hear firsthand from some of the lives you've helped change for the better. We've lived all of fiscal year 21 in the midst of a pandemic, but thanks to the hard work and passion of our incredible staff and leadership and your continued support, nearly 11,000 adults, children, and families had access to the treatment, supports, and education they need to live healthier lives. Over the last year, thanks to our federal Certified Community Behavioral Health Center grant, we were able to add additional resources to provide 24/7 mobile crisis services for children and adults in our community. That grant also allowed us to add children's services to our outpatient clinics in Branford and Ansonia, and additional services for youth over 18 who are preparing to transition out of children's services at the Parent and Child Resource Center. COVID has shined a light on the importance of all of the services we provide. A greater population now understands that treatment and support are essential for everyone's health. They're also beginning to understand that prevention and education are equally as important. Our Alliance for Prevention and Wellness has been incredibly busy over the last year, raising awareness and training police, first responders, and the general public on substance use disorder, Narcan, and suicide prevention, and was recently awarded a federal Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act grant to support its efforts to prevent and reduce the use of opioids and the misuse of prescription medications among youth ages 12 to 18 in our communities. Homelessness in Connecticut is also on the rise, and BHcare has grown to meet that need. In the last year, thanks to multiple grants, we've added staff to help those who are homeless and impacted by COVID. We now have an outreach navigator who works in the city of New Haven to engage homeless individuals in housing and support service. And we most recently opened a homeless health hub in the Fairhaven section of New Haven. The hub is a drop-in resource center where clients can access case management and vocational services. It provides the opportunity for staff to engage with unsheltered, homeless individuals, build trust, help them find stable housing, and engage them in appropriate services. The corona pandemic also hit our domestic violence clients especially hard, many of whom were sheltering at home with their abusers. Tensions were high, frustrations were high, and economic challenges were high, a dangerous combination. In the last year, our advocates and counselors worked with nearly 6,000 survivors of domestic violence and their children. Many of these survivors came to us with greater needs than before. They weren't only seeking counseling and support, they also needed assistance with basic needs like food, housing, and access to benefits. Our staff worked tirelessly to ensure everyone who came to us received all of the services and support that they needed to begin rebuilding their lives free from violence. So much of everything I just mentioned was made possible by the generosity of our community. What you've all done, our staff, our donors, our volunteers, and our clients over the last year is truly incredible. I'm so proud to be part of the BHcare family with all of you. We've proven there is strength in numbers, and together we can build a healthier, safer, and happier community for all. Now I'd like to introduce you to Justin. He's just one of the thousands of success stories you help make possible. Justin struggled with substance use disorder for more than a decade. He was addicted to crack cocaine and heroin, and he was lost. With the right combination of treatment and supports, Justin achieved recovery and is now dedicating his life to helping others on their pathway to recovery.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm 31 years old, and for 14 years, I was in active addiction. My substance of use was heroin and crack cocaine. And I spent many years in my addiction, well, 14 years. It was between incarceration, active addiction, homelessness, not really being able to seek my own identity in life, and not having the supports, not only clinically, but my own personal morals were also skewed. When I became sober, we're going on 2 years now, I entered BHcare once again and noticed that the difference was there was a clinical team that was basically there and available to address any need and challenge that would have been presented for them. I also had individual therapy sessions with my primary clinician as well as the treatment team. We also worked on a lot of areas of my aftercare, and I believe that this was extremely important because of the approach that they took clinically as a team, and really worked with each other to allow me to feel as if I myself was coming up with a lot of the answers, which somewhere deep down inside I knew I had. It, basically took that therapeutic value and that type of approach to me to be able to figure out many times that I have in the past failed due to a lack of prioritizing my aftercare. Also, a relapse prevention group, which I was part of for, many weeks, probably going into about 6 months worth, and just very intense individual psychotherapy sessions, not only with my primary clinician, but meeting regularly with my medication management team, which was the psychiatric doctor here at BHcare, and the other professionals that worked in that area. I was able to secure a very good aftercare plan due to a lot of the treatment team giving me a lot of information on self-help groups. What ended up becoming the most beneficial thing of that is it allowed me to come out of my shell. It allowed me to find out who I was as a man. It allowed me to figure out who I was just as an individual, and be accepting of that and understanding of my own mental health illness as well as my addiction, which of course work with each other. The facilitating of my treatment with all the clinical team members, even administrative team members here at BHcare, allowed me to flourish. I feel gave me a nice stable foundation. Fast forwarding a little bit of time past my IOP completion and relapse prevention completion, I ended up going to school to become a CAC, which is a certified addiction counselor here in Connecticut. After completing that program and acquiring my certification, I started off as a recovery specialist at a inpatient program here in Connecticut. It's located in Waterbury, and I ended up quickly with some good hard work and perseverance, as well as keeping in touch with my outside supports, and a lot of the resources that BHcare initially hooked me up with allowed me to flourish in that field. In reality, it allows me to remain sober because I do know that I'm making a difference, and I do know that there are people out there that are just like me who need the help, who need the resources, who need a team behind them that is able to address their needs and accept them for who they are, and be understanding and compassionate, and in general just empathetic of the fact that this is a condition that many humans go through and experience on a daily basis. I do personally believe and can guarantee my own success is brought on by the collaboration brought on by the treatment teams here at BHcare, and the energy put behind their work. If you want to talk about people who may stay a few extra hours to, ensure someone is well off, and, that's definitely the treatment team at BHcare.
Well, Justin's story is proof that recovery is possible. And with the right treatment team and support system, anyone can recover from substance use disorder and work toward reaching their goals. Justin, thank you for courageously sharing your story with us today. Now I'd like to introduce you to another courageous person, Rachel Ellis. Rachel grew up in a household with domestic violence. With supports and some incredible teachers and mentors, she persevered and is now a social worker and one of our Hope Family Justice Center thrivers. Here's Rachel reading a poem she wrote called Hope Is.
Hello, my name is Rachel, and the title of this poem is called Hope Is. During one of my social work classes, my professor opened the lecture with "We are in the business of hope." A person can live 3 weeks without food and 3 days without water, but only mere moments without hope. So with that said, what is hope? Hope is the patch of hair that grew back after the third time that I pulled it out. Hope is the bruises getting lighter, scars becoming more faint, the light coming back into my eyes. Hope is the sunrise after a long night, the knowledge that after the darkness fades, there is always a morning. Hope is my 7th grade teacher's eyes when I told her for the 10th time in 10 days that her homework was not on my list of evening activities. You see, unlike my peers, my youngest years were far more complex than the A, B, C's and the birds and the bees, because for me, I was never a monster under the bed, because he was right there living with me. Hope is the moment I realize that although I come from dysfunction, dysfunction doesn't have to come from me. Hope is my 8th grade English teacher giving me my first journal and comparing me to a rose that grew from concrete. Hope is this moment here. You see, hope is the kid they tested repeatedly for dyslexia who used to stutter, reading poetry in front of all of these important people. Hope is me looking at my clients' faces, and before anything, I see them. Not assess, diagnose, or analyze, but see. It's reminding them that they will never be defined by the actions taken by those who could never understand how to love them. When my professor asked that question, I think he knew the answers are hidden deep inside of us. And to realize them is to heal us and the people that we serve. So if you remember anything I shared today, it's that we have all survived 100% of our worst days. And that is what hope is. Thank you.
Well, I love that both of these individuals turned their struggles into careers where they dedicated their time to helping others. I think that's a testament to our staff at BHcare. They help clients overcome some of the most difficult illnesses and situations and inspire them to help others do the same. Good work, helping others, generosity of spirit, they can all be contagious in the best of ways. And one organization that proves just that time and time again is the Derby Shelton Rotary Club. For more than 30 years, the Derby Shelton Rotary has dedicated time, labor, and resources to our programs and services. They've sponsored our events time and time again, volunteered on committees, bowled, walked, gardened, painted, collected masks, adopted children for back to school, and under the tree. You name it, they've done it. And when we need help, they're always here to answer the call.
This is the BHcare Community Partner Award, and it's presented to the Derby Shelton Rotary Club. Part of the reason it's a pleasure for me is I've been a member of this club for 20 years, and I've really gotten to experience all of the great things that this Rotary Club does, not just supporting BHcare, but all the work it does. And though this is BHcare's 2020 Community Partner Award, this award is really in recognition of all of the things that this club has done for BHcare, for Birmingham prior to that, for the Parent-Child Resource Center, for over 20 years, probably 30 or 40 years. Going back in this area, have been members of the Derby Shelton Rotary Club since at least the 1980s. We've always had a representative here at Derby Shelton Rotary Club. And this club has been committed to Birmingham and the Parent-Child Resource Center and BHcare, not only with their financial support, but with their volunteers. And for those of you who've been around a long time, I'm going to mention a few names that you'll recognize. And at the risk of leaving some out, I apologize. I don't know everybody, particularly before my time. But hopefully some of you will remember names like Don Ryan, Ernie Louise, Al Patuzzi, Bill Miller, Mike Santa, Kate Marks, David Grant, Mary Ellen Samatowski, Linda Holmes-Hannon, and Judy Gulish. All those folks have helped at some time or other doing something for the BHcare community. Over the years, those members have served in various capacities within the BHcare organization. So there have been members of this club that have served on the Birmingham and then BHcare Board of Directors, the agency's foundation board. The members have served on committees including golf tournament committees, Bowl to Benefit umbrella for domestic violence, and this club always had a team for many, many years, had a team that would bowl in the Bowl to Benefit for domestic violence. The Birmingham Gala, if any of you remember that, Parent-Child Resource Center golf tournament, as well as our Chance to Shine cycling event that now takes place at Quarry Walk in Oxford. So that's what the kind of the history of the relationship between the BHcare and Derby Shelton Rotary Club. In fiscal year 21, just this past year, Derby Shelton Rotary Club provided masks for both our clients and our staff. They provided a grant for furniture to the Umbrella Center for Domestic Violence Safe House. And they also sponsored BHcare's cycling event, A Chance to Shine. So 3 major initiatives just within the past year. So that's why it's truly my pleasure to present this 2021 BHcare Community Partner Award to our president, and she stops taking a picture. Julie. Julie Blakeman.
Hand sanitizer.
I sure wish that some of those folks that were mentioned, Kate Marks, Judy Coolish, Mary Ellen, Ernie, were here today to see this, because they're the true reason behind this award. At the end of every presidency, you really go through all the grants and you decide who is going to receive those monies, and they were the reason that they received those monies. So on behalf of all of those past presidents, thank you for this award and your service to the community, because that's what we're about, service to self. So thank you so much.
I cannot thank the Derby Shelton Rotary Club enough for their decades of support. Most recently, they sponsored new bedroom furniture for our Valley Safe House, providing the victims and children who reside there with a greater sense of comfort. I look forward to our continued partnership in our shared mission to build a healthier and stronger community. Now we're nearly at the end of our half hour together. So now I'd like to turn the program over to Mike Gulish, Chair of our Board of Directors, for closing remarks.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I am, as Roberta just said, my name is Mike Gulish. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the chair of the board of directors. I've been around for a number of years. And frankly, this is always my favorite day of being a board member at BHcare. Just watching the moving presentations by Justin, Rachel, and many others in the past, and I'm sure many more in the future. It is amazing what this organization does. So my goal today is really just to thank everyone. I'd like to thank the staff, because without the staff, we wouldn't be having this meeting today. So thank you so much. My fellow board members, the time you put in to help Roberta and all of her staff is priceless. So thank you for that. Most importantly, I'd like to thank all of you on this call, all of you volunteers, all of your donors. You can see the impact you have, again, just by watching Justin and Rachel and the presentations that they did. So thank you again so much. We hope that next year we will be doing this in person. I think everybody's had enough of Zoom calls, so it would be just wonderful to be face to face and see everybody again after this, this time we've been locked down, if you will. So looking forward to seeing you next year, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you all for coming. Have a great day.